taught, quote, how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. Florida governor and 2024 presidential candidate Ron DeSantis was asked to clarify that standard on Friday. Take a listen.
I mean, I didn't do it, and I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. But the reality is, all of that is rooted in whatever is factual. They listed everything out. I mean, these were scholars who put that together. It was not anything that was done politically.
Joining us now, CNN political commentator, former White House senior policy advisor, and former National Coalitions Director for Biden-Harris 2020, Ashley Allison. Also with us, Republican strategist and former U.S. Senate candidate Joe Pinion. Good to have both of you with us this morning. I was struck really by Ron DeSantis doubling down on this. These are the standards. This is the history. Hey, you could be a blacksmith and then you could go use that somewhere. It is remarkable, and I think Will Hurd perhaps put it really well when he said in a tweet, and I think we can call it up here, basically saying, I can't believe I have to say this, but slavery wasn't a jobs program that taught beneficial skills. It was literally dehumanizing and subjugated people as property because they lacked any rights or freedoms. When you look at this, Joe, especially as a Republican strategist, when you look at this, how is it that this is where Ron DeSantis is going? He is doubling down on this, and there is this push that somehow this is a more accurate view, accurate telling of U.S. history.
Well, look, the only thing slavery taught anyone was that there are no limits to the brutality that lurks in the hearts of man. And I think the only thing that those comments teach us is that in many ways, the vestiges of that brutality still exist. So there's nothing worse than trying to tell the people who are the descendants of such brutal subjugation that somehow there were some lessons learned along the way. So it's a sad day, but I think ultimately and unfortunately, it distracts from the real issue. I mean, we talked a little bit about the tenureship that was denied there. Certainly we can talk about—
You mean at Texas A&M?
At Texas A&M. Certainly you can talk about that in the context of this article, but it's a broader issue. The fact that black professors have struggled to get tenureship at many institutions, including the most prestigious institutions in this time, as Professor Cornel West, how that worked out for him. So issue by issue, I think the actual issues confronting black people in many ways on a day-to-day basis get lost because of the insanity on the far fringes, when in reality you're looking at California, where we have over 70% of juniors who are not reading at proficient levels. You look at Florida, you see those numbers much the same way for black students. So those are the real issues. Those are the real stakes, the civil rights issue of our time, and we have people trying to relitigate the values of the civil rights movement in the first place.